Are you ready to see our roster completely overhauled? Or are you terrified about losing the heart and soul of this defense? We are officially entering the offseason, and the latest report suggests that franchise pillar Demario Davis could actually leave the New Orleans Saints this spring. It is a massive reality check for us as fans because losing a leader of his caliber would signal a total shift in our identity. And honestly, the more details come out, the harder it is to ignore what is going on behind the scenes. Smash that like button, subscribe, and drop your city in the comments. Let's get into it. The New Orleans Saints are staring down a pivotal offseason as we approach the 2026 NFL Scouting Combine, and the future of franchise pillar Demario Davis is suddenly the biggest question mark in the building. After 8 incredible seasons as the heart and soul of this defense, Davis now finds himself at a career crossroads that has the entire fan base feeling anxious. According to Larry Holder of The Athletic, there are growing rumblings that the veteran linebacker could potentially play elsewhere in 2026. Davis has carried a massive salary cap figure, alongside teammates Cam Jordan, Alvin Kamara, and Taysom Hill, creating a complex financial puzzle for the front office to solve before free agency begins on March 9th. The bottom line here is that the organization must decide whether to extend these aging stalwarts or navigate a painful departure. For a leader like Davis, who has openly confirmed his intention to play again next season while leaving the door open for other options, this potential exit is a heavy pill to swallow for those of us who have watched him command the field for years. We know his value goes far beyond the box score, representing the grit and standard of Saints football. While he says he is currently training and excited for his upcoming regimen, the uncertainty surrounding his contract status feels like a dark cloud over the start of the scouting period. With the deadline to use franchise or transition tags looming on March 3rd, the pressure on management to make a definitive move is reaching a boiling point. If the Saints decide against an extension, how exactly do they plan to replace the leadership and production of a defensive captain who has anchored our team for nearly a decade? There are genuine rumblings that Demario Davis could be playing for a different organization next season, which serves as a major wake-up call for those of us who view him as a permanent fixture in New Orleans. The backstory here centers on the harsh realities of the current salary cap, as veteran stalwarts like Davis, Cam Jordan, Alvin Kamara, and Taysom Hill now carry cap figures ranging between $14 million and $19 million according to Over the Cap. These players are all facing the end of their current structures, and with the front office needing to find financial flexibility, the decision-making process under Kellen Moore is becoming incredibly complicated. Historically, the Saints have managed to navigate these complex waters by restructuring deals. But the front office must now weigh the long-term benefit of keeping a core leader against the necessity of building for the future. Let's be real, Davis has already confirmed he plans to continue playing in 2026. But his public openness to exploring other options indicates that he understands this business as well as anyone. Behind closed doors, the coaching staff and management are surely debating whether these veterans still provide enough on-field value to justify their high costs during a time when the team needs to get younger and faster. If the Saints decide to move on, it would mark the end of an era for one of the most respected leaders to ever wear the uniform. The team currently sits in a position where every single transaction, from potential contract extensions to the risk of losing these pillars, will fundamentally reshape the roster before the draft even begins. We are approaching a period of significant change, and the upcoming meetings at the Scouting Combine will likely provide the first clear signal regarding whether these familiar faces will remain in the Crescent City for another year. The upcoming days represent a crossroads for our organization as the front office prepares for the crucial window of the NFL Scouting Combine and the looming start of free agency on March 9th. This period matters immensely because the decisions made by the Saints regarding veteran stalwarts like Demario Davis, Cam Jordan, and Taysom Hill will dictate the structural integrity of our roster for the 2026 season. According to Larry Holder at The Athletic, these aging stars carry significant salary cap figures ranging between $14 million and $19 million, necessitating immediate action to lower these burdens. And I'll be straight with you, the potential departure of a franchise pillar like Davis creates a massive void that is difficult to replace. With these voided contracts upcoming, we are essentially looking at a complete reshuffling of our defensive identity. If we cannot retain these core leaders, our ability to control the line of scrimmage against division rivals becomes a major question mark, directly impacting our playoff ambitions and our consistency in late-season matchups. Every dollar saved by extending or restructuring these veterans allows us to chase fresh talent at the combine, shifting our standing within the NFC South where competition remains fierce. We must decide if we are banking on the wisdom of established stars or pivoting toward a younger, faster defensive core. Failing to strike the right balance could leave us vulnerable during critical divisional games, where veteran leadership has historically been the difference between victory and defeat. As we watch these negotiations unfold, the stakes could not be higher for the long-term future of our beloved team. We are standing at a pivotal moment, and how the front office handles these cap-heavy contracts will ultimately define whether we remain true contenders or enter a period of difficult transition. With the 2026 NFL Scouting Combine approaching, the focus turns toward the difficult decisions surrounding our veteran core. The strongest argument for retaining stalwarts like Demario Davis, Cam Jordan, Alvin Kamara, and Taysom Hill is the stability they provide. Keeping these players ensures that Kellen Moore has the veteran leadership necessary to maintain our competitive window while our younger players develop. However, the downside is significant. With salary cap figures ranging between $14 million and $19 million per player, these high costs could cripple our flexibility in a talent-rich free agency market. What nobody is talking about is how these specific contract structures, many of which involve upcoming voided years, force our hand regardless of on-field sentiment. According to Larry Holder at The Athletic, there are genuine rumblings that Davis could depart, as the team weighs whether to extend these contracts to lower cap hits or face the reality of a roster turnover. Holder highlights that beyond Davis, the organization must find a path forward for Jordan, Kamara, and Hill. Here is where I land on this. While the prospect of losing a leader like Davis is unsettling, I think some of the panic surrounding a total collapse is slightly overblown. It is common for veteran teams to navigate these complex cap hurdles every single spring, and frankly, a mixture of extensions and selective departures is often better for the long-term health of the club than clinging to the past at too high a price. We have invested years of loyalty in these men, but we must prioritize the sustainability of our future under this new coaching staff. It is a balancing act between honoring our history and securing the resources needed to build something that lasts for years to come instead of just another single season of uncertainty. The looming decisions regarding our veteran core represent a pivotal crossroads that will define the identity of the New Orleans Saints for the next several seasons under Kellen Moore. We are entering a transition period where the front office must balance the need for immediate competitiveness with the reality of significant salary cap figures ranging from $14 million to $19 million for stalwarts like Cam Jordan, Demario Davis, and Taysom Hill. Here's the thing nobody wants to say, but we must face the fact that sentimental value cannot be the primary driver for a roster facing such steep financial hurdles. You should feel a sense of cautious optimism as we head into this offseason, because even if we move on from longtime icons, it opens a necessary door for younger talent to finally take center stage and forge a new path toward consistent success. This shift toward a younger, more flexible roster is exactly what is needed to navigate the long-term health of our team. It is truly difficult to imagine a defense without a pillar like Demario Davis. Yet his own recent comments suggest he is carefully weighing all his options for the future. Losing such a respected leader would undoubtedly be a bitter pill for every one of us to swallow, but it remains a distinct possibility as the team looks to restructure its finances. We are at a critical juncture where the choices made in the next few weeks will signal whether we are doubling down on our legacy players or pivoting toward an entirely fresh chapter. Given the current salary cap constraints, would you personally choose to restructure the massive contracts of these veteran stars to keep the current core together for another year? If you enjoyed the video, do not forget to like it and subscribe to the channel. Who Dat?